So working on our first snack, we have First Form's protein powder. Theirs is a pumpkin spice latte. We're wanting to make a pumpkin protein bread, so I've got some pumpkin puree, all-purpose flour, pecans. I am hoping to take some of the sugar out, so we're gonna use brown sugar replacement. This is made with erythritol, so a little bit healthier for you, and yes, it does have carbs in it still. And trying to use some coconut oil rather than, if you are able to, butter is okay as well, or if you're wanting to just switch up for more flavor. I prefer butter for those who are not calorie restricting at the moment. I would even say coconut oil is pretty close in calories, but it's not considered a saturated fat at body temperature. So nutmeg is a great option if you are able to, and if you don't have protein powder that has pumpkin spice in it, get some pumpkin spice at the grocery store. You can even add some cinnamon, and I plan on adding both of these anyway because I like mine to be extra spiced. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started here, adding our ingredients into the whisker, and then once we get started with the whisking part of it, you wanna go really slow, more like kneading bread dough, and then we'll pour it into our mixture for the bread pan. So this is about a 10-inch bread pan. What you want to think of is if you're gonna divvy this up into 5 portions for your meal prep, it's about 2 inches per slice. 6 to 8 slices, you could probably get in about 1.5 inches or so on that. So we'll use one of these. You can even use a smaller one. And I also just prefer the allergy-friendly, or allergy-free, I should say. I also just prefer the allergy-free chocolate chip morsels. So these tend to be, in my opinion, a good flavor, especially if they're dark chocolate chips. First thing we want to do is preheat our oven to 350 degrees. We're gonna go ahead and just hit bake again or start, and that'll get us started. Okay, so starting with our wet ingredients, we are going to use the pumpkin puree, so 1 cup or 8 ounces. I'm actually going to measure this out. So we have 8 ounces. So next we'll crack open our egg, pour that in there as well. Okay, so the next thing we'll add is our packed brown sugar. We'll squeeze in there for it. You can pack it while it's still in the container. So this to me is about 1/4 cup of packed brown sugar. Get a cup of water here. Now we're adding in our cup of water. And the last thing we'll add is our 1/4 cup of coconut oil. So make sure it's, if you need to have a little bit easier time, you can melt it down before you scoop it out or pour it out. But for me, this isn't something that needs to necessarily be packed. You just want to see if you can fill this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and scoop this in. Add everything that I can from the corners and the edges. Now what's great about coconut oil is you can actually use this as a lotion, put it on your face, put it on your arms and body. You can eat it, you can cook with it, you can wear it. But I really love having coconut oil on my skin. So just gonna put that on there. And let's get started into our dry ingredients once we finish mixing in these wet ones. All right, so it sounds like our oven is ready. Just gonna tighten this bowl, make sure it's good to go. And we're just gonna mix this on one. Perfect, all right. So from here, we're gonna go ahead and add in our baking flour. So we've got 1 cup. I'm just gonna go in like this. Go ahead and continue to mix. Great, next we're gonna add in the protein powder. So I believe here we have 2 scoops. There's 1 and 2. Smells delicious. I can already smell the pumpkin. Okay, I'm going to add in some cinnamon because I love cinnamon. So to me that's probably about a tablespoon. It's quite a bit, but I don't mind. I like it really spiced. All right, so now adding in some nutmeg. I'll probably going to add in about a teaspoon of that as well. I said a teaspoon of cinnamon, but I probably put about a tablespoon. So I just want to give you a heads up here that this is quite potent. And the nutmeg doesn't need that much. Teaspoon is just fine with that. All we need left is baking soda and some sea salt. So I have Bob's Red Mill. It's a premium quality baking soda. I really like this. So just pouring in this in here. 1.5. So I'm gonna grab a half of these. Bring this out. 1, 2, three. Good. And then just some salt to finish it off. Now I also like some vanilla extract, so I'm gonna pour just a little bit of vanilla in here. Give it a tiny bit more flavor. And then let's bump this up a notch. And then using a spatula, if you want to, you can just scrape down some of the edges. All right, so now that this is pretty much done blending, I'm just gonna take So now that we've lined the sheet, we've got our baking mix in here. Looks delicious. We're just gonna pour this into the pan. And I believe I have that spatula. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab the last little bits that I can in here. 2 tablespoons in here. I'm gonna say 2 tablespoons of these as well. It's about 1. And that's about 2. So I'm just gonna go around all the way through the edges. Okay, so now that this is ready to go in the oven, we're just gonna go ahead and place it and add our timer for 50 minutes. All right, so we're just gonna put this into the oven. Feels nice and warm onto our top shelf. And then we're gonna go ahead and set our timer. So cooking time, clear for 55 minutes. Now that the bread is in the oven, you'll let it bake for 50 minutes. Once it's fully baked, you can go ahead and take it out, cool it down in the bread oven for about 10 minutes, and then take it out of that bread pan for another 10 minutes. Once you want to slice it up into whichever desired amount or serving, you can. Let's say 5 gets you 5 days in the week that you want to meal prep. If you have more friends or more people, then you can actually bring it to a table or to a Thanksgiving dinner. You can serve up to 10 people 1-inch slices if you'd like. And honestly, you can cut these in half, however many, and make it a party favor. So we'll go ahead and let these bake, and then we'll see you all when it's ready. All right, looks pretty darn great from here. I'm just gonna do a nice little knife test. Just make sure it comes out clean. Okay, looks pretty great. Just gonna let that set right on top there. So the bread is just cool enough now. Beautiful. All right, so this bread can be cut up into 2-inch slices here. And it looks fantastic. Good, so this made me 8 servings with the 10-inch bread. Just going to put that out right there. And even just a little bit of butter on top. Just melt into it all. We'll really set that out.